Hi everyone, I hope you're looking for a fun and energizing workout that'll be efficient and work through all your major muscle groups. I'm going to use a foam roller. It's one of my favorite Pilates props. I've got a 4-inch soft roller that I use from OPTP, Occupational Physical Therapy. I like it because it's very versatile. It feels good on my neck and all parts of my body. So let's get started. I've got a yoga mat out here in one in either direction. You could use a Pilates mat or something that's a non-skid surface. First, I'm going to lay down over the foam roller. I'm going to place my butt at the end, my head at the upper end. Now this is going to be a nice way to just warm us up because I think a lot of us are really tight in our shoulders and often we're really tight in our hips. So I'm trying to create neutral spine here. What does that mean? Well, it means that I've got a small space under my lumbar spine and a small space under my cervical spine. So I'm going to practice that as I try to just drop down through the breastbone here. And I'm going to do a little bit of a pelvic rock to get started. There's a lot of balance just in being up on this foam roller. So I want to have my feet really parallel there and anchored into the floor. I'm going to take an inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to draw my pelvic floor towards my navel, and I'll feel a little bit of a tactile stimulation to the foam roller from my back. But notice the difference of that, where I'm really recruiting abdominals to draw in versus one where you would be pushing your low back and then using just kind of a pelvic press in there. We don't want that. We really want to feel stable through the sides of the hip, balanced through the glutes, and take an inhale. And on that deep exhale, I'm letting my breath draw in and my abs draw in. Breath draw out and abs draw in. Do that a couple more times. It really feels nice to your low back and starts to help you understand the core connections that you want to make with all of our exercises. Now I'm just going to try to hold that position as I bring my arms up as I inhale and exhale. Because I'm slightly elevated off of the floor, it feels so marvelous into the arms here as you stretch into the front of the pecs, muscles that get super tight because we're in front of computers all day and our cell phones. And then I'll bring it the other way. Inhale and exhale, targeting those core muscles, drawing the abs in every time I exhale. So it's always mindful movement. You can always go faster, but frankly, slow and deliberate is harder. From here, I'm going to alternate. So one arm back and one arm down. Inhale as they draw to center, exhale as they draw down. And I'm being challenged to hold my spine on this with every movement. It's why you don't want to let it be about momentum. You pause and you connect that to your core. It's also too easy to kind of flare your rib cage here. I know I did that for many years and still do if I'm not conscious about drawing the shoulder blades down and feeling those intercostal and oblique muscles working for me here. Now, we are also tight in our external rotators. So I'm going to take my hands out here. I call this a cactus shape. What it does is it works right into the upper inner shoulder blades on the back, and you feel all this stretch and release there. Breathing in, trying to hold that position. And I can work my neck muscles here, coordinating this while I'm working on balance. So I'm just going to turn my right palm down and then turn my head to the left, which provides a marvelous stretch through the side of my neck. I'll bring that back to center. The right arm is back. Now I'm going to flip the left arm down towards the elbow and look towards the right. In this way, as I'm patterning that, I'm getting a really nice stretch. The texture of the foam roller feels really good on the back of my skull. And I'm also being challenged as I get to either side with the balance holding on there. Lastly, I want to just feel a little bit of scapular protraction and retraction. Again, because of the elevation of the foam roller off of the floor, I can really feel my shoulder blades coming off and on, which is a great way to stretch and get into what I think is sort of
frozen icebergs along our backs. Now let's ask the arms to help stabilize as we work into our core muscles. This is called toe taps. I always want to be stable on one side before I mobilize on the other. I'm going to keep my leg bent so that I'm really targeting this femur bone as it drives out of my hip socket. Inhale at the top. As I exhale, I'm going to hug those abs in and lower that right leg only as far as I can stabilize. If I go too far, it's going to arch my back. Inhale, exhale, really feeling that deep low belly connection. And you can see that I'm keeping the knee bent because I really don't want the lower leg to do the work. That would be easy. So just find that sensation, that control. It's much harder than it looks. Trust me on this. And then I'll bring that leg down. Now I'm going to try to stabilize through the right side as I lift the left leg. Inhale now. Exhale, hugging the abdominals in. Ooh, this is a much harder side for me. I'm a right-handed person, so my right side is just not used to staying at home. And it needs to partner a little bit with that non-dominant side. Exhale. You can see how challenging this is, how much I am working to not let it rock and roll. Now this is a more advanced position. I don't recommend this unless you are used to doing this kind, but I just wanted you to see how much you can stabilize this, keeping that nice right angle with the body. As you bring both of those legs up, that is quite challenging. All right, I'm going to bring that down, roll over. It's not very far to the side. Okay, so from here, I'm going to get into a little bit of work to get my hip rotators open. So as I work the shoulders, I want to prepare my body for work. So I'm going to place this into kind of a cobbler shape that we do in yoga. The pinky toes are drawing together and I'm right at the tip of those toes. Then I'm just going to roll it out till it gets to about my heel. In this way, I'm opening what is generally a very tight hip area because we sit in chairs all day. I'm starting to feel how when I work the back of my hips into the glutes, into those hip rotators, that I'm not actually setting myself up for deeper abdominal work. Now you could stay with that. I'm going to add to it. I'm going to take my hands behind my head and I'm going to come out to that baby toe side to start as I inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to draw the foam roller toward me and curl up just to the base of my upper shoulder blades and then take it out as I inhale. As I exhale, trying to support my head, not coming up super far, and then rolling it back and down. In this way, I'm trying to again involve the obliques, the glutes, and try to really feel that framing, slow, deep abdominal work. Now I could go a little faster, but my temptation is to kind of lift my hips too much. And I'd rather go in this slow, deep work, exhaling as I draw up, inhale, and down. Exhale, curl it up. Good. Oh, it's feeling pretty vigorous right there. Now let's take that right leg to tabletop like we did again, but now we're going to be focusing on hamstrings. So I'll stretch that leg out as I inhale. Exhale, as I pull that in, I'm going to feel that targeted core, but also a lot of stretch to the back of the hips. If you feel this is coming more from your hip flexor than your abdominals, then you're relying too much on the front of the hip and not the recruitment that we really want. And draw it in. 5 to 8 times is a good amount, so I'll switch sides. Find that neutral spine, left leg's in tabletop, find my alignment. I'm going to inhale as I slide the leg out. As I exhale, I'm feeling almost like a vacuum cleaner cord is pulling me back in. And that's going to target those deep, low abs. Inhale as you stretch it out. Exhale as you drive it in. As you've probably discovered by now, so many of these Pilates exercises look really easy until you do them, and then you know the difference. Whew. Okay, now I'm going to stretch my left heel out. Going to try to keep that grounded as I move into leg circles. So here I want a neutral spine. I'm just spinning that femur bone into the hip socket, which is called the acetabulum, while keeping this pelvis super stable. Inhale at the top, and as I exhale, I'll target those abs, circle around under my control, pause at the top. Exhale, deep low belly, so that my circle is only as big as my control allows. I'm going to do 8 in each direction. You could flex your foot or point it. I'm going to point in this one. Maybe I'll flex on the way away. I think it's about 2 more, but I talk so much, sometimes I can't count. And bring it in. Now I'm going to reverse it and flex it and pick up the pace. Exhale. Inhale, pause. Exhale, fire the abs before anything else moves. You can see my left hand is helping me stabilize. I have a very unstable pelvis, so I have to really work to keep that from moving as my leg does. Exhale, deep abs. And back in. I'm going to hug that knee in. Ooh, that feels good. And then I'm just going to stretch it over and give myself a nice IT band stretch right along the side of the hip. All right, here we go to the other side. Right leg is out, still in my neutral spine. I'm going to start by extending this leg up to the sky. Maybe I'll flex coming in and point as I go out. Inhale, exhale, tracing a circle that is under my power, hugging the core. And I'm getting a lot of work in that right leg too, because it is working so hard to keep my right side of my pelvis quiet. And when I first started doing these things, you often had to put little sandbags on me to help me stabilize, because I've got a lot of looseness and hypermobility. I'll try one more. Down around. Flexing this time, down around. I think I was supposed to flex that time, but coming around. Doesn't really matter. It emphasizes just a little bit different part of your hip. As long as you're doing that with core control and not feeling grippy here, then you're doing well. Try 2 more. And last one. And I'll just hug that in, stretch my hip and my back. And I'll take that right hand and just coax that hip over here. All right, now how about a nice little roll up and roll down? Well, a lot of people have a tendency, again, to grip in here. So I like the foam roller too, because it kind of lets your hips feel like they're part of the process, almost like a whiskey barrel as it's rolling down the conveyor belt. So I could take my hands behind the head. I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, my goal is to try to curl up bone by bone, coming up tall, sit up here, inhale, and then exhale, rolling down bone by bone, trying to keep that level pelvis throughout. We'll do that about 4 more times. Inhale, exhale. I like to flex my feet. I think that helps me keep my glutes active. Sit up tall, inhale, and exhale. Roll it down, stabilizing, never dumping here. Right? A lot of times people will lift up their legs, and that's just a sign that their hip flexor is causing them to have a little hitch in their giddy up, right? And you were just trying to really stabilize, roll it down. I think I'll do 2 more. You could take your hands here for a little bit more challenge. Inhale, exhale, trying to keep the arms around the ears, and I'm just going to kind of bow down because that feels really good to my hamstrings, and roll it down, sequencing. I think I said 1 more. Inhale, exhale. You could also kind of sweep it around, feel it in control, and release. Whew, definitely feeling that. Okay, so how about let's get into some side lying legs. So I'm going to come down, have my upper body along the back edge of the mat, and bring my legs forward like a banana pose. I'm going to position this right at my lower rib cage. Now you could absolutely go down here. I like to sort of prop this up as long as you're not sagging into that foam roller. You always want to feel like you're lifting the obliques. First thing I'm going to do is just try to feel the length in my leg, the length in my neck. So you want to try to not look at your leg as you're going that, because that kind of crunches your neck too much. You should feel a lot of work in both legs, down and out. Now I'll do about 5 of these, and then I'm going to circle. This is a lot different than the ones we just did on our backs, in that you really feel this is a hip movement more than an abdominal exercise, which is what leg circles is. Again, I'm tracing that small circle. Now, trying to feel that each time that femur bone is gliding into the hip socket and my pelvis is super stable. Boy, I'm feeling those obliques working like the devil. Now from here, I'm going to keep the leg up to the height of the hip, working my adductors and control. I'm going to flex as I kick forward, but only as far as I can keep this pelvis from crunching here. Point as I lengthen back. So I could definitely take my leg forward, but in my case, that's going to become unstable. So I encourage you to go in a small range so that you're really feeling that in the glute medius, along the IT band, and a lot of the muscles that we need to work. From here, I'm going to take it into external rotation. I call this hot potatoes and back. Notice that you're lifting that leg bone, going forward and back. Tap it and release. It's such good work into those hip rotators. Then I've got to go into internal rotation. I want to lift from the hip, tap it forward and back, keep my neck and shoulders nice and long. I think it's 2 and back. Last one. Whoo! I'm going to end with a little clamshell to work the piriformis, another tight hip muscle. I'd like my heels to be in line with my sit bones and my knees at a diagonal. As I squeeze the heels together, I'm going to really feel that acquisition of the muscle in the back of the hip. We'll go for 3. Exhale, draw the abs up. Oh my goodness. Before I go to the other side, I think it might feel really nice to get a little stretch into a little bit of a child's pose. You could take your knees wide if you feel more need for stretch in the hips. I've just placed my forearms on this to stretch into my thoracic spine a little bit. Just dropping my heart down and widening through the sit bones, stretching my back. Okay, let's go to the other side. So I'm just going to move it back. The sequence is going to be memorable now, I hope. So align along the back edge, bring your legs forward, and we're set up here. Nice and controlled. Start with just those leg lifts, up and down. See if you can balance right there on the side of the foam roller. Again, not so easy. And 3, lengthening out through the heel, lifting up just at a point of control. Now we try those circles. Imagine that you had to trace the same size circle every time you do this. That's going to give you the kind of precision that we expect in Pilates. Good, and reverse, lengthening, targeting those abs and glutes. They're such best friends if we allow them to be. And I'm imagining that I'm picking up all the passengers on my Ferris wheel as I go around. Good. Now I'm going to have that leg stay at that height of the hip, nice long side waist, and I'm going to kick forward, flex, and point, come back. So really almost creasing here at the hip joint, not letting that pelvis collapse with the weight of my leg, and not really wanting to go back too far either, because that can cause the back to arch. All right, from here I'm going to take that external rotation, tap the heel forward and back. Nice tight abs. Feels really good. And you can just see how much we need that movement and lubrication in the hips. Then I'll go into internal rotation. Now try not to camouflage this by just working the ankle. I've done that plenty of times, and that's a bit of a cheat. And we'll take 2. Ooh, this one's much harder for me. And back. Whew. All right, now how about a nice twist to end our work today? So I like sitting up here, because it can take you into a nice little angle where your legs are coming forward of your pelvis. I'm going to use this as my version of saw, okay? Now, you want to really keep those feet quiet. I hope you'll find that from me. I know this is often a struggle. I want to sit up really tall. Saw is an example of a differentiation of the pelvis, and you're working in 2 planes of motion, right? So you're going first in the sagittal and in the transverse plane. You start out here sitting up tall, inhale. As you exhale, I'm going to twist and draw my abs in. I'm going to bow over that left leg with the pinky down, and I'm going to reach the right fingertips back. I'm going to inhale as I lift and rotate to the other side and stretch Inhale and exhale, rotate. Really feel that movement into your trunk, stable through the pelvis, hugging the core muscles in. And I like to keep my neck a little long. I learned this traditionally as you look back to the backhand, but I don't think that really feels good for most of our necks, so I don't advise doing that. And coming back, last one, and exhale, reach, reach, reach. Ha! Come up for that. In about 20 minutes or so, you've got a really nice workout that feels good in all parts of your body. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time.